many of you collagists out there can relate to this problem? When you are cleaning up your area, you find things, you start to play, and you start creating, and cleaning up that area becomes secondary. Kind of like when you were a little kid and you were told to clean your room and you start playing with the toys that you've forgotten about because they were crushed up into the corner. Now, in this case, this was ephemera from last week's collage dinner time that I obviously liked. I cut out, put off to the side, thought I was going to use it for that collage, and instead I didn't. And now it's all sitting in well, not sitting in a corner. It's a lot cleaner in the studio now. But I don't throw things away too readily because they're just too interesting. I kind of keep things off to the side. But this is the ephemera left over from my piece dinner time. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I am drawn to it. I'm kind of excited about it. So I think I'm going to try to make another collage based on what I have right in front of me right now, left over from another project. When I was working with his original Egyptian image, I had thought about cutting out the face, which I did here, and put in something else. And I like this face because, well, she's gorgeous, and also it's black and white. But it's not fitting the way I would like it to. I wanted to kind of fill up that portal more so. So I'm going to give myself some options here. Definitely going to put her off to the side. If not this collage, another one. So I went ahead and grabbed a couple of beauty magazines. And I'm going to kind of peruse them and see if I can find anything that might fit. I would love to get a black and white image, but I think it's not going to be completely necessary that it is black and white. I would like it to be just to have that wonderful contrast, since this is so ornate, gilded, and gorgeous. But I'm going to go ahead and see what I have. I would like something unrecognizable. In other words, I do not want a celebrity. I normally don't like using celebrities in my collages as focal points unless I really distort it, cutting off, features so they aren't recognizable. And that's just a personal preference. I have used celebrities as focal points, but they're usually unrecognizable. That's just me. So I'm going to go ahead, go through the magazines I have, probably fashion magazines, which I have plenty of, to see if I can give our Egyptian guy a new look. A lot of components are at play here. I would love to get something that is similar to this image, exotic in black and white. I think I'm done with this magazine. And also, like I said, I wanted to stay away from the celebrity look because I like my collages to feel and look unique. This one so far is winning very, very quickly. She's got a highly exotic look, wonderful features, not black and white, but the palette has a nice patina to it, so it's not super colorful. It kind of goes pretty well with this. Since I have some time today, I may as well just see what I have. Doesn't necessarily have to be female. Here's some black and white images. I'm not sure. So I have this other magazine. It's actually a magazine on plastic surgery. Yeah, giving me ideas. No, I'm kidding. I don't want to do that. But it has some pretty interesting images, and also some images that aren't exactly appropriate for all audiences because they do show the surgeries and body parts and whatnot. I don't know if this is going to be a good magazine for me to look at anyway. And also size is an issue. I can't really use a big picture, so something like this, but now this is too small. So this, again, I keep coming back to this image. This is winning in a major way. I'm still not really seeing anything. This is interesting also. A little too big. So too big or too small. I just didn't also, the reason why this image wasn't working for me is it doesn't completely fill that space up. So that's why I'm thinking, I think I'm just going to go with this one because it fulfills nearly all the components. If it were in black and white, that would make things even more phenomenal. And I definitely want that neck there. So it looks, she fits. That fits. So I'm going to continue working with this image. I took this apart, not because I'm dissatisfied, but I wanted to draw attention to the fact that I left the ears on this image. So I kind of want the female face to line up with those ears. See, now things are going to get a little weird. Where her ears would be, maybe there. I just kind of wanted them to line up. And I'm not even sure if it matters because they're kind of hard to see. It's just the ears are lined up with the eyes, and that looks kind of weird to me, but it's still kind of hard to see. I could do something like this. I'm not going to worry about it. I wanted it to line up, but it's not going to work out. Now, the reason I was able to do that, again, I'm using packing tape, but this was a book, and the pages are very sturdy. This magazine is actually very high quality, so I was able to remove it with little to no ripping at all. I'm still being very careful, even though it's not going to be seen on the image. We'll just go back to what I had done before, and I'm not going to worry too much about those ears. You guys all can see it because I pointed it out to you, but other people may not see it, may not notice, and probably won't care. And it can be absurd anyway. I was looking at the original mask, and I'm wondering if this is some way I can incorporate this into this piece. But instead, what I'm going to do is set it off to the side. I now have a new pile of ephemera I'm collecting based on this collage, which is giving me an idea of collages that are going to be related to each other based on the ephemera that I've used. From each piece, moving on and seeing what I come up with. So the stuff I'm not using, always put to the side. I'm going to try to make another collage based on the leftover ephemera from this collage. So back to work. When I was cutting out this detailed necklace from a magazine yesterday to work on dinner time, the other collage with the robot lady and the little black and white guy, I really wanted to use this and did some detail cutting. Didn't end up using it for that collage, but nonetheless, it doesn't hurt anything because I can use it for future collages, which I am using here. And I'm kind of excited about the way it's looking. It's a little ornate, and it may clash some with the Egyptian imagery on here, but I think I'm okay with it because there's enough of a contrast. It's light enough where it's not conflicting. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it on with a little bit of Mod Podge. Mod Podge is also pretty forgiving if you don't get heavy-handed with the adhesive. So if I change my mind, I can probably gently pull it up and no harm, no foul. So it'll stay adhered onto the image. So I'm pleased with it, and I know that I can always pull it up. Ultimately, I scanned this, so it's not an issue. What I like also, what I wanted to share was these are old stamps that I put in place of the eyes. From what I understand of history, undertakers would put coins on persons' eyes after they passed away. I think to keep the eyes closed, and also had something to do for passage when crossing the River Phoenix into the underworld. I don't know. I love history, but I'm not a historian. I just know a little bit. So these have kind of like that coin feel to them. I also like how this old stamp is actually quite complementary to this old image from the book, from the Egyptian book. And I love how the lavender from this old stamp cameo kind of brings out the purple and lavender in these glass beads. I also saved the game over from the dinner time image of the robot girl. And I think this is gonna look good because it's a little morbid because game over would indicate, well, she's wearing a funeral mask and that's it. So a little bit of morbid absurdity going on, but I'm okay with it, and it's not really something that I planned, but I'm kind of enjoying the way it's coming out. So when that happens with collage, that's what makes collage a lot of fun. Also, you just don't take anything too seriously. So I'm just going to go ahead and place it about here. And again, just gluing it down because it's fine. Nice contrast because it's pretty dark. And let me see if there's anything more I need to do to this little collage. As most of you know, I love taking images like this out of magazines from my little Hawaiian Odyssey. And what a beautiful starscape this is. So I don't want to do a one-time thing only with this image. What I'm going to do is scan it into Photoshop and keep it on my hard drive so I can also use it for digital imagery. What I can do also is scan this piece into Photoshop and create layers and place one on top of the other, and covering up the people at the bottom here. Like she almost looks like one of those. I'm not saying this right. The nesting dolls. She reminds me of one of the nesting dolls, Russian nesting dolls. That's not what I was going for, but why not? I think it looks good, and I think it's just a nice little simple collage created from stuff I wasn't going to use for the one yesterday for dinner time. So this is definitely a cousin of the dinner time collage. Gave me ideas on future collages, little challenges I like to give myself. How many collages can I make with a certain number of pieces that I choose for one project? One project can yield several different collages. So I think we're done here. I'm not going to adhere this to the background. I will scan everything into Photoshop and we'll be done. So this was a lot of fun. It's a shorter video. I hope you enjoyed it and you got something out of it. Again, I love using contemporary images with vintage images. The older the better, the newer the better, because I love combining them and creating something brand new out of that material. Thank you for joining me this week, and we'll see you next time.